Today we're going to talk about state government. State government begins with the 10th Amendment, which the power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited to the states or reserved to the states respectively or to the people. The 10th Amendment is very important for states' rights. It's where they come from. States reserve powers. Each state has a constitution, and they are much more detailed and specific than the U.S. Constitution. PA's Constitution has 11 articles, where the U.S. Constitution only has 7. They also include like a Bill of Rights and listing of rights like civil liberties, the government structure, powers, and amendments, but end up becoming much more detailed and specific to that particular state. In Pennsylvania, there's 3 ways to amend our Constitution. You can have a proposal by a convention, you can have a proposal by the legislative branch, or an initiative, which is citizens' request. PA's amendments process proposed by either chamber. We have a House and a Senate up in Harrisburg, our Pennsylvania state government. Voted on in the General Assembly. General Assembly is what we call our legislative branch, like Congress at the United States level. We call it a General Assembly in Harrisburg. They only need a simple majority vote. The amendment is then published in the newspapers and then re-voted on by them again. This forces and gives the public a chance to look at a proposed amendment in our state through the newspapers. The amendment is then placed on the election ballot, and we as the citizens get to decide yes or no on an amendment. And I've actually done that once or twice when voting. I go to the polls, and all of a sudden there's an amendment changed to our PA Constitution, and you vote yes or no. Nothing major, but it gives a lot of citizens voice and some democracy. At the legislative level, we have a General Assembly. Our Senate has 50 members. They serve a 4-year term. You must be 25 years old and live in the district. Scott Wagner was our senator. He is no longer. Stan Saylor is a House District Representative for the District 94 Red Line area. Probably not even know Stan Saylor. Our House in Pennsylvania has 203 members, serve 2-year terms, similar to the House at the Congress, must only be 21 years old, and you must live in the district you represent. State laws, a couple different types of state laws that refer to like citizens getting involved. Initiatives are when voters sign a petition to try and pass a law. And a referendum is a law is approved by the legislator and then passed to the citizens for approval. So referendum, our government in Harrisburg writes a law, and then we get to say yes or no. Okay. Legislative process, most bills, at least the ideas, come from citizens. The legislature introduces the bills, and committees are used just like we talked about in Congress. The governor then signs the bill into law or vetoes them, just like the president would at the national level. Some non-legislative powers of the state government. The executive power, the governor approves, you get to approve the governor's appointments. You can also impeach, just like Congress can impeach or try to impeach President Trump. The legislature of Pennsylvania could try to impeach the governor or somebody else in the government. And then our legislative branch also typically is highly involved in making changes to the Constitution. Our governor is Tom Wolf. He's a 4-year term. He's elected by a popular election. Some of his powers are here. He was first voted in 2015, I think, and then again in 2014, again in 2018. So he took office in 15, again in 19. So he's like, a year or two into his second and final term. Some other state officials, lieutenant governor is second in command. It's not a vice governor. It's called a lieutenant governor. You have a secretary of state, secretary of treasury, attorney general, who's like a legal advisor for the state. Judicial minor courts. Justice of the peace is just presiding over minor courts. I'll let you guys kind of read through some of these. You might want to pause it right now and take your notes. We have a Commonwealth and Superior Courts. These are our 2 main appeals courts. The Commonwealth issues with state, local government, regulatory agencies, typically 3 to 7 judges. The Superior Court is an appeals court for criminal and civil matters. And we have a Pennsylvania Supreme Court, 7 judges, not 9 like at the federal level, but 7 on our PA Supreme Court. They get about 3,000 requests per year. So yeah, every state does have their own Supreme Court for their own state court system. This is Pennsylvania's state court system we're focusing on. Here, you might want to pause this, just kind of take a look at the pyramid. This is our structure of our state court system, which is similar, except we can have 2 levels of appeals here. Your minor courts would be like the York County Courthouse or, municipal court, and then obviously the PA Supreme Court at the top. Judges are elected by a popular election, so that's different at the state level. They're not elected at the federal level, and the governor can fill vacancies. Their terms are 6 years and 10 years, and then they have to retire at the age of 70, which is also a little different.